hard work doesn't really pay off. Putting your head down and doing the work and hoping you get noticed isn't a great strategy either. And just waiting for someone to see you and value your expertise is a losing game. I'm Ashley. I'm the lead mentor with Mentor Me, and today I'm here to help you dispel some of the most common myths about the world of work and actually infuse strategy in helping you make more money and have more impact in your career. One of the biggest lies of the world of work is that if you work hard, if you grind it out, if you push yourself to the limit, if you sacrifice your time and energy and money and body and mental health, it will pay off in the end. And the truth is that nobody on their deathbed is wishing and hoping they would have given more time at work, that they would have pushed harder, that they would have grinded it out more, right? That's not the truth of anybody's lived experience. What I want to invite you into, however, is to be more intentional and strategic at work. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't be thoughtful about your work or that you shouldn't use your expertise to advance the goals and values of your organization. But what it does mean is that you should not be grinding at work to the sacrifice of your mental and physical health. It does mean that you should be working in areas of expertise that don't require you to push so hard, because you already have a level of expertise and you don't have to grind or destroy your mental and physical health to drive real outcomes for the communities that you care about and to drive real work in the area that you're in. And moreover, this myth that you should put your head down and just do the work and someone will notice you is a losing game. I know a lot of people think that their work speaks for itself, but I'm here to tell you that if you're letting your work speak for itself, you're playing yourself. You should be speaking up about the value and the skill and the knowledge that you bring to the organization, that you bring to the industry, and you should be able to boldly articulate that to anyone who will listen. If you are just letting the work speak for itself and hoping that someone notices it, that someone sees its value, that someone would pay you at the level you desire or promote you in a way that you want, then you are playing yourself. And so I want to invite you into some ways that you can release some of these myths that are maybe plaguing you and having you burning yourself out and overworking yourself, and actually introduce you to a more intentional strategy to advancing your career. And I think this more intentional strategy is critical because so many professional women do feel burnt out, do feel overwhelmed, do feel stressed, and work doesn't require that because hard work simply does not pay off. You grinding yourself and pushing yourself to the limits, you missing time with your partner, time with your kids, you missing family vacations because you're trying to work hard is a failing way to do work, right? And work requires much more strategy than it does grind. And once you understand strategy, you can release the grind and you can actually live a fulfilled life, which includes a fulfilled career. So let's talk about some of the most common myths around work strategy or what work has to be like. And let me talk about why that's not true anymore. So one of the most common strategies around the world of work is that hard work pays off, right? That if you just grind it out, if you just work hard, if you just put your head down, if you ignore the distractions and you just build widget after widget after widget, project after project after project, client after client after client, someone will notice your hard work. Someone will notice your input, your grind, and they will help you ascend to the highest ranks of the organization. And that's simply not true. Why is that not true, right? Why does that not work? Why is that a losing game? Because the truth is that when it comes to high level roles, when it comes to higher level leaders, when it comes to making more money, organizations at the highest level are not looking for people. They're not looking for their leaders in the people who can push out the most widgets. The people who can push out the most widgets, the people who are grinding, the people who are, bringing in client after client or, leading in, doing the work on the ground, they want those people to stay there because they're doing the work on the ground. They need that revenue generating activity. They need that you on the ground. They need you to stay grinding. And in the higher level leadership roles, they're looking for thought leaders. They're looking for people with perspective. They're looking for people who are thinking about leading teams and people who can motivate people that are on the ground building the widgets. If you want to make more money and you want to advance to higher levels of leadership, the pathway to do that is not working harder at doing the thing that you're already doing. Because you working harder at doing the thing that you're already doing and excelling in that only means that people want you to stay doing that over and over and over again. And then you pigeonhole yourself into a low-level, low-paying job because you're so good at it. They can't afford to replace you. But if you can elevate from I build widgets to I understand the psychology of our customer and I understand what makes our customer make a buying decision, and I can translate that buying decision into the way we approach this work, then that's what they're looking for in a leader. That's what they're looking for in their top paid employees, right? And so there is this true myth that if you just work harder, you'll get noticed and you'll get promoted, but the math ain't mathing. It's simply not true, and it's simply not the way that work works. And if you keep buying into that philosophy, you'll be forever frustrated in low-level, low-paying jobs and wondering why you're not rising to the top. And if this is resonating with anyone, just throw some hearts up on the screen, because I know that so many people feel very frustrated by work. They feel very frustrated by the fact that, they've been doing this job for 3 years, for 5 years, for 7 years. They're getting passed over for promotion after promotion after promotion. They feel angry and dismissed that their organization doesn't see their value. And they're just wondering, what do I have to do to get noticed around here? Well, what you have to do to get noticed is not work harder doing the thing you're doing. What you have to do to get noticed is figure out how you can articulate the value of your expertise outside the job that you're doing now. There is so much value in having expertise that allows you to lead, not just allows you to do, right? And this is why hard work doesn't pay off. This is why putting your head down and doing the work is not a leadership strategy. This is why waiting your turn, if you're waiting your turn, it's never going to come. Right? And I don't want you to be disillusioned by this rhetoric that if you just work hard, then good things will happen for you. Because if you believe in that logic, it's a fatal flaw, right? And you'll constantly be disappointed by work. But if you begin to understand that work requires strategy, that work requires intentionality, that work requires building and leveraging relationships, that good work requires navigating office politics intentionally, that good work requires managing up and leading with authority, regardless of your position. If you begin to understand that, then you'll be so much more satisfied and you'll feel so much more fulfilled at work. And I never want high achieving professional women to feel like they're burnt out and they're overwhelmed, but it's gonna all pay off in the end, because hard work like that just doesn't pay off. And if it does pay off, the payoff is burnout. The payoff is overwhelm. The payoff is disappointment. The payoff is a lack of fulfillment, right? And then when we get to experience that, then we're like, well, this industry don't make no money, and I need to, look for a new job, and I need to look for a new opportunity, and there's no money in this field, and, I hate everyone here, and I need to transition. Like, we start to tell ourselves other lies, right? And so I really want to invite you to move away from any idea that working hard is just going to pay off, that it's magically going to get you in the positions that you want. It's magically going to advance you to a higher level. The world of work is not designed to reward hard work. The world of work is designed to reward strategy, intentionality, focus, directness, outcomes, right? And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't produce things at work. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have outcomes. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be producing an outcome at work. It just means that it shouldn't be so hard. Let me give you an example. I remember several years ago reading Glennon Doyle's, I think it's called We Can Do Hard Things. And, and I also have connected with people who kind of have this thought philosophy that like, if you're doing work that is meaningful, if you're doing work that's aligned with your strengths and your values, it shouldn't be hard. And I believe that both things are true. Number one, I believe that we can do hard things. Like hard things are available to us, right? We can do hard things. The problem is that a lot of you are signing up to do hard things for eternity. You can have hard seasons, you can have hard months, you can have hard semesters, but the entirety of your experience with anything shouldn't be hard, right? I've been married for about 13 months and I remember, people before we got married and even in our first year of marriage, people always say, marriage is hard, marriage is hard, marriage is hard. And I always used to wonder, like, what part is hard? Like, what do you mean when you say hard? What do you mean exactly? Like, what part of it is hard? And in my first year of marriage, we've experienced some hard things, and I'm now understanding what people mean by hard. They mean sometimes it's hard to communicate. Sometimes it's hard to consider your partner. Sometimes you have to have hard or difficult conversations. You have to compromise, and that can be hard, right? But like, it's my belief, and again, I've only been married for 13 months, but it's my belief that the entirety of your marriage should not be hard. If the entire experience is a grind, if you're just out there fighting for your life every day in your marriage, like, sis, it shouldn't be like that, because the experience of loving someone should not wear you out. The experience of considering a partner and building a life with them shouldn't feel like you went in a 3-round boxing match. It shouldn't be that hard. And the truth is that if you're working in your zone of genius, if you're working in your area of expertise, if you're working in your area of impact, the work shouldn't be that hard, because you should be good at it. You should have some strategies to win, right? In our first year of marriage, when we did experience challenging times, we were able to work through them because we had went to premarital counseling. We had spent a lot of time working on strategies to get through those more difficult times, right? We'd done the work. So it wasn't that hard. We had the tools, so it didn't burn us out. We didn't get an annulment. We thank God for that, right? And so I would just say that, like, if your work every day is a literal grind, that either means that you don't have the expertise to do the work, or that you aren't well positioned or well valued in your organization. And either way, girl, it's time to get out, because work shouldn't have to be that hard. It shouldn't be a daily grind. Like, marriage shouldn't be a daily grind, and you should have to work that hard. And so I just want to encourage you that if you like to shift your mindset, right? I want to encourage you to shift your mindset, because it's our mindset that so often get us stuck in things that are not serving us. Hard work doesn't pay off, sis. And the longer you think it is, the longer you'll be playing yourself. Right? I really want to invite you to think differently, to think differently about your approach, to think differently about the ways in which you see value and work, and to honor yourself more, right? To honor yourself more. A woman who honors herself is not regularly grinding at work. A woman who honors herself doesn't feel the need to push herself to the limits, ignoring her mental and physical health to please an employer, right? It's time that you honor yourself. Right. And honoring yourself would mean, if you have this mindset, if you feel stuck here, honoring yourself would mean getting help. Honoring yourself would mean investing in your career development so that you don't continue to stay stuck thinking hard work is going to pay off someday. I'm accepting new mentees right now, and I invite you into mentorship. You can schedule a call with me on my website at mentor-me.org. That's mentor-me.org. And I'm looking forward to helping you, serving you, and helping you shift your mindset so you can change your life. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.